everyone, you are listening to the Manifesting Straight Talk podcast, and I'm your host, Rachel Chamley. I'm a mindset and manifesting coach from the UK, and I am here to ignite that fire inside of you. If you are a female entrepreneur or change maker, or just a woman that is wanting more from life, then you are in exactly the right place. I am going to give you my no-nonsense, straight-talking advice to manifesting and show you how to take your life to that next level. So if you're ready, dive in now. Hi everyone, welcome to this week's podcast episode. This week, I want to talk to you about sometimes how we get stuck in putting labels on things, and not just labels on things, labels on people. Now, as soon as we start to remove the label, we start to see what's there anyway. So we have this all the time. You might have a best friend that suddenly does something that is so out of character, and it is not how a best friend should act, and suddenly you are raging. Or you might have family members that you've had turbulent relationships with, and it's made you think that, you know, you want this other version, you want this other way of being. So let me put this into context. You might have a relationship with your mother or your father, and you might have a way that you think a mum or a dad should act. And suddenly, or maybe all your life, they have never acted that way. You have something built up in your mind of what that label should bring. So whether it's love, whether it's comfort, whether it's support, you might have a built-up idea of what a mother should be like. Now, we often build this from external things like films, seeing how your other friends' parents are, all of this stuff, seeing what society says a mother should be like. And we have this built up in our mind. And then we have the mother or the father that we have. And often we think, well, you're not this built up version in my mind. And actually, you then look at your relationship, and sometimes you have all this dread or feelings of, why didn't I get the mum that I should have got? Why didn't I get the love and support that I should have got? All this stuff can build up because of that label. Now, when you start to remove the label, what you are then left with is the gift that that person has brought you. Now, when we come to this life, we all have a soul mission. We all have a purpose. We all have something that we are meant to bring to this world. But the thing is, we don't bring that energy without learning some lessons. So we end up surrounded by people who are going to teach us some incredible lessons. But what we tend to do is we get fixed in our ego mind, in the persona that we've built up, thinking, I haven't got what I should have got from this person because of this label you have identified them with. And actually, what we're missing there is we're missing the gift that they have brought to our life. And also we're filling ourselves with lots of negative emotions that don't really need to be there. Often our relationships are the hardest things in this life. But once we take a label off and we see the gift that that person brought us, we can actually release a lot of negative energy, a lot of hate, a lot of judgment, a lot of angst, a lot of fear, a lot of guilt, and a lot of shame as well that has been built up over time. So a lot of people I work with really do feel like the black sheep of their family. They feel like the outcast, the spiritual one, the one that's a little bit weird, a little bit quirky, a little bit pushed out, the one that nobody really gets. And I've been like that myself. And I used to feel like, why don't my family get me? Why aren't they, on my level? But actually, I've started to remove these labels and started to see what each of them have given me as a gift, what each of them have brought to my life, which has allowed me to transform and change into the person I am today. So let me explain this. My dad has a real kind of, intelligent exterior. He's quite harsh. He doesn't really give out, well, he's not harsh, that's a bit hard, but he doesn't say I love you easily. His upbringing just didn't bring that in. So he's made me really strong. He's made me value my mind, my intelligence, my way to argue a point. He's brought so much to me that allows me to, intelligently put a point across, because that was something he valued, and that was something he's been able to, bring to my life as well. My mum, she has showed me how to be an absolute badass, but still a caring person. She's quite a hard woman, she's strong, she's independent, she's really, she's got that edge, but she's also very caring and very loving. So once I took out all of the kind of label of what a mum should be like, I'm able to see these lovely, lovely lessons that these people have brought to my life, and I needed to be the person I am. Me being as straight talking as I am, sometimes I can be brutal and to the point, even when it comes to healing, even when it comes to getting people to that next level, which is a healing path. But I do it in a way that can be very kind of to the point, cut through the bullshit, and literally get you there faster. Now, if I'd have had a mother who was so, loving, nurturing, comforting, all that type of stuff, I wouldn't have learned that that was okay. I wouldn't have learned that this straight talking way of being, this no bullshit, no nonsense way of being is good too. And that helps you heal. So there's so many lessons I can learn from people around me. As soon as I remove the label and see what each of them have brought, each of my siblings have brought me a lesson in themselves. Each of my friends along the way have brought me a lesson in themselves. So I want you to start to think of, what relationships are you really struggling with? And if you remove the label and look at the gift that they have brought you, how much of it are you actually grateful for? So I know some of my hardest relationships have, created this independent, strong woman. They've created me to push through, know that my vision is what I am going for, no matter what people think of me. Even the closest people to me have sometimes pushed me out. And that has actually given me the massive gift that I know now I am not for everybody, and that is okay. I am okay being pushed out by some people, because I am not here as a people pleaser. I am here to help people who get what I am saying. So from these really hard lessons, I have learned so many things, and you will have too. And without them lessons, you will not be who you are today, sharing your magic that you are meant to share. So I want you to start to look at these relationships differently, and don't look at the label. Don't look at it as brother, sister, mother, father, best friend, cousin, all of them things. Look at it for that person is another soul on your mission. That person come to this life to help you do this thing. The universe doesn't have good or bad, right or wrong. That is all what we apply. We apply the good or bad, the right or wrong, because we build up these notions in our mind of what is good, what is bad, what is right or wrong. And then we decide, we cast judgment on what the situation is and which category it falls into. Whereas the universe just brings you situations. It doesn't bring you a good or a bad thing. It brings you a situation for you to learn and grow from. So you might have been feeling like your husband, really hurt you. It's created this void in your life, whatever that is for you. But actually, when you look at it, you would not be the person you are now if that situation never happened. If your husband never treated you the way that he treated you, you would not be who you are now. You would not have learned the lessons. You would not be as resilient. You would not be as strong. You would not have worked through those emotions. All them things that actually would never have happened without the negative thing that happened to you. So when you take the situation and you neutralize the charge, so you stop saying it's good or bad and you say it was a situation for you to grow through, then suddenly you start to see the world in a whole different way. You start to see people in a whole different way. If you imagine you all had these packs coming in before this lifetime that you were going to be helped in your journey, and you were going to help them in their journey, then suddenly everything looks different. They're not that person that did that thing to you. They are that person that give you that gift of growth. Yes, you might not like them now. You might not want to spend time with them now, and that's fine. I'm not saying that needs to change, but just change the emotional charge that you have to the situation or the person. Because actually, without their gift, without that transformation, without that up level, you would not be who you are meant to be. So as we're going into this Christmas period, we are going to be spending lots of time with family, lots of time with people who suddenly were stuck in a room with for maybe 24 hours or longer. And a lot of emotion can come up, but start to look at the relationships that you struggle with, the ones that you don't struggle with, and really see what gift every person in your life has brought, whether it's been good, bad, whether it's made you step up, whether it's made you rise. Because do you know what? Some of the hardest relationships I have had are the ones that have made me stretch and grow the most. And without them, I would not be doing what I am doing today. And I am so bloody grateful for that, because I love what I do. I love helping people with their mindset. And if my mindset had been, all easy breezy, my life had been easy, then I wouldn't have had to do the mindset work that would have got me to where I am today. So that would have been no good, because I wouldn't have been fulfilling my purpose. So thank you to everyone on my journey who's made things shit, made things hard, made things difficult, because boy, I am so bloody grateful for each one of you. And you have made me up level and rise and step into the queen and know my worth that I do today. So you will have the exact same things on your list where you've got resilience, you've stepped up and you went, no, I don't deserve this. That person has taught you to realize your worth. There has been so much goodness in what we see as negative relationships. So start to do these exercises. Remove the label from the person. Take off mom, dad, brother, sister, auntie, uncle, all that stuff. Take off the label. Look at the situation. What did you gain from it? What did you get off the back of it? What was that up level? What was that growth? Who would you not be today without that situation happening? This is a whole other way of looking at forgiveness as well, because you're able to see things from a different lens and start to see what this person has actually given you. There's always a gift in everything, and everything is always happening for us. Now, unfortunately, sometimes it doesn't feel like that at the time, but it really is all happening for us. So do this exercise, start to take the label off, start to look at the situation and start to look at what you gained from it, because there is always an amazing gift that you just wouldn't want to not have now. So then it just neutralizes the charge over the things that have happened. And if you can free yourself from this, you can actually free yourself to live a better life. You can take out the pain, take out the judgment, take out the guilt, the shame, all of that, because you'll have been a villain in someone's life too. We always are. We're always a victim or a villain. And, it doesn't matter which you are or which you've done. Take out the situation, take off the label, because again, you will have made that pact before coming into this life that you will have done that for that person. You'll have done that thing. They'll have wanted your help for them to grow through a certain thing. And you might have had to be the villain in that situation to allow that to happen. So just work through this energy, work through these thoughts, work through this mindset shift to try and bring out the other side where you are actually free. And you can see how much these gifts have really, really helped you. And if you haven't figured out what they're for yet, don't worry, it will come. But these gifts were meant to be yours. They were meant to make you who you are today, because you are meant to rise into something great. You are meant to step into your greatness by going through these hard times. And this is what it's all been for. So make sure you are starting to see the logic in all of this madness, because it really does free you up to live a better life. So I hope you've enjoyed this podcast episode. I hope you break through and have some massive shifts and ahas with this exercise and really neutralize that charge from them relationships. Take the labels off and see what gift you were actually given. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode. I hope you loved every minute of it. If you want to follow me on social media, all the links are in the show notes, and I will catch you next week for more Manifesting Straight Talk.